Now that we've covered how to select the materials, we have covered more about grains and selecting birch plywoods, etc., which I haven't added to my cutting list yet, but I will. I'll do it right now. Let's go into birch plywood. At the later stage, as we go along, I'll be doing a cabinet, showing a quick tutorial how to create a cabinet using our carcass options. And I know I'm going to be going with about 2.7 meter high carcass. I'll need to find the birch plywood so I could use it as a door, which would cover a 3 meter or 2.7 meters high cabinet. If I can. If I cannot, then we're not going to use the birch plywood, and we'll have to stick with the smaller dimensions on the cabinet itself. Okay, so apparently we do not have it, so we'll have to stick with a smaller size, but let me get the plywood into cutting list. Okay, plywood, add to cut list. Now, this is step 3, which would be to create the actual project and go through various options available for a simple cut to size project. So first of all, we need to type in a project name, which is, let's say, wardrobes. You could name project based on a street name or client's name, etc. Let me do it CBJ, because we are CBJ. Now, let's select material. The reason why we have gone through these selections to make sure that whenever at the later stage when you're doing a project, you don't need to keep browsing through hundreds of various materials and trying to select the right one. So the step 1 and 2 allows you to filter and use only the required materials which you will need for your project. So now we have selected 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boards which we are working with. Here on a cut to size, again, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which means all these are the ones that we have selected, which makes input easier, quicker, and more user-friendly. So let's start doing one by one. 30mm moisture resistant MDF, maybe that's going to be my floating shelf, which will be, let's say, 1500 long by 320 wide. I'm actually after 4 shelves. Let me put a description, which will be floating shelf. Description is quite crucial. If as when the boards will arrive to you, there are labels, and each label will have a printed description on it. So realistically, it's just to benefit you, so that when you've got a delivery, you know exactly what each item was. And that's where description, I keep saying, always put it in, which is easier to reference the parts. If descriptions are empty and you've lost your list or whatever you was doing, it's hard to trace which part goes where. So I'm not going to go into the edging section now. Let me just select every single material so we can go through all the steps at the later stage. Right, so let's say oak veneered, maybe that's going to be my side panel, which will be 2780 by 650. I need only one panel, and let's name it a side panel. Next material we have on the list, light gray. This would normally be used for carcasses, or could be tabletops, or could be anything. It depends on the preference. The board size allows me to go up to 2785 as a maximum. So let's say that's going to be tabletop, and I want it to be 2750 by, let's say, 700 deep, and I will need 2 pieces. Maybe I'm going to join it, so we can call it as desktop. Next material we have on the list is 36mm board, which I may use as under table supports or etc. Or maybe I want to use this material as a desktop, which again I can type in and check the prices afterwards. So let's give it a go. 2750 by 700 by 2 desktop alternative. I may use it, I may not use it. You can always delete it later if you don't require it. And the last product is Birch Plywood, where again As I mentioned, I may be building a cabinet where I'm doing a door separately, or maybe I have a cabinet. So 2400 by, let's say my door is 574 wide, and I need 2 doors. And these will be cabinet doors. Now, this video now covers how we input the actual materials. Please bear in mind, all measurements are finished measurements that I require, irrelative to any edging selection or anything else. So if I have typed in 1500 by 320, the part will come as 1500 by 320. There will not be any variations. It will be exactly as typed in. So let's move on to the next step, and we will go through all the other options like edging, hinges, and finishing. Thank you.